What's up, guys? I thought I'd hop on here and make a video on how we put LT heads on an LS. First order of business you want to do is you want to try to acquire a full motor, or at least a set of heads that's in good shape. I got a full motor because I know they hadn't been thrown around or, scrubbed in the mud or anything like that. This motor was, I think I paid 150 bucks for it. Next thing you want to acquire is actually an LS. I actually built this LS when I was 17 the first time, and it's been through many renditions, and it's been turboed, it's been NA, it's been a bunch of different setups. Currently, it has the 799 head that's been milled 5,000. This has a set of ARP head bolts, stock style LS9 head gaskets, and it was fitted with these style shorty headers, and it sounded a little bit like this. At this point, I'm moving on to installing a set of LT heads. Now, the reason I want to install these is simply because they flow a lot better, and they actually have exactly what I need to achieve this project. If you didn't know this, the LT head actually has the intake and exhaust valves in opposite to the LS cam profile. So I can use this head and use the intake valley ports as the exhaust ports instead of the intake. In doing this, I'm going to create the first Hot V LS. And I've seen no one do this, and I just wanted to take this project on. So the first thing I noticed was that the exhaust bolts, the manifold bolts, were stripped out. So I went ahead and drilled it. So I then took an M10 by 1.5 millimeter bottom tap and tapped all of the holes for the exhaust manifold. The LS actually uses a bottom dowel pin, so I used a step bit and just stepped up the hole. You see that here and here. It's not to forget I had to drill these holes here. They're not normally drilled on the LT head. This is a LS mounting hole, and I just wanted that little bit of extra clamping force. Next thing I had to tackle was getting the direct injection ports plugged up, drilled and tapped the actual ports. So what this allowed me to do is I ordered a set of M10 by 1.5 plugs, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to red Loctite the crap out of them and slip them in those holes. This is entirely experimental. Aside from that, I do have to acquire some valve covers, rockers, and I have to measure for push rods for the stock LS cam because I'm not using the BTR LT head swap cam. Aside from that, the head has very small intake bolt sizes, and what I'm going to be doing is drilling these out about 6.9 millimeter and then tapping them with a M8 by 1.25 tap. In doing this, I'm increasing the clamping force on the ports here because I'm actually going to be using these intake ports as exhaust ports. Obviously, the port size is a little different, and it will pose an issue later if it was an NA build, but it's actually going to be a valley mounted turbo system, which will allow me to make enough power to where it stands out, but it's not exactly a turd. So aside from those little things, there's a couple of important things to point out. Obviously the rocker size is different on LT heads. The ratio that they travel is actually 1.8 to 1 versus 1.7. And because I'm still using the cam that it's in my LS right now, I'm actually going to be gaining from 595 thousandths lift to 630 thousandths. In doing so, I will have to be doing valve springs, and I am going to do a quick trunnion upgrade as I'm doing so. Aside from that, that's really all you have to do if you're going to do what I'm doing with the Hot V turbo setup, and I'm just tackling this as kind of a new project. You will have to do spark plugs, and you will have to do a set of valve covers of your liking. I'm going to be making my own manifolds. You will have to drill and tap your water pump to put your temperature sensor and all that type of stuff. But aside from those small little tasks, it's not really that difficult to achieve the Hot V LT motor, because if you wanted to use this in an NA or a turbo setup with these heads like normally, you'd get the BTR camshaft that would allow you to use the LS platform, buy you a set of LT headers and an adapter plate for your intake. But I just wanted to hop on here and point out all the little things that I'm doing, and I hope this helps somebody.